Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ali Gauhar. Tonight, we have a very special program. On the first segment, we're going to talk about the Classic Football League, the CFL, which is Pakistan's first ever franchise-based football league. This is very exciting times for Pakistan football. It'll be officially launched and held in August 2018. So as I said, these are very exciting times. Pakistan is loaded with talent. So this will be extremely beneficial to those players. So to talk about this in further detail, I've got two very exciting guests. I've been joined by Mr. Shahid Khokhar, who's the director of CFL. Sir, Assalamu alaikum. And we also have Mr. Mohammad Waseem, who has joined the CFL as a brand ambassador, and I'm sure everybody knows he is world #1 in flyweight. Mohammad Waseem, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Shahid Khokhar Saab, let's start with you. First of all, before we get into the details of the CFL, how did this all come about? Whose brainchild was this?
In fact, Ali, I tell you, throughout the world, this franchise-based model, including in India, has been practiced very successfully, because there are certain limits of the associations and federations. Until and unless you don't have the private companies joining hand with the federations and associations to bringing in sponsorships and looking after the benefits of the corporate sector, until then you cannot promote any sport. So this is, I would like to tell that franchise model is that you sell the teams. For example, simple to understand is PSL is also cricket league, which is franchise based. So you can see that how successful that is. The only thing is that in football, when something is to be happen, when you have to organize something, you have to watch the FIFA regulations very critically, and which says that the involvement of the corporate sector should not dominate the game. Actually, it should support the game, it should support the player, it should develop the player, especially in the countries like us, but it should not overshadow the actual game.
Right.
So this is the basically the bottom line of that.
Mohammad Waseem Sab, we'll talk about the CFL and the Football League and the fact that you're the brand ambassador. But I can't let you go without talking about your boxing. अब आप #1 है flyweight में जी, तो उसके बारे में ज़रा बताएं.
मैं लास्ट टाइम जीता था पनामा में 3 फाइट्स, और इस टाइम मैं फ्लाईवेट रैंकिंग में #1 इन द वर्ल्ड, और मेरी अपकमिंग फ़ाइट आ रही है फॉर द वर्ल्ड टाइटल. सो आई होप इंशाल्लाह ये टाइटल भी मैं पाकिस्तान के नाम करूं.
बहुत मेहनत की आपने, याद है आई थिंक 1 साल पहले you were here about a year ago. So tell us about that, what you were like back then and what you're like now, how much you've improved.
इससे पहले जब लास्ट टाइम मैं यहाँ आया था, मेरी इंटरव्यू यहाँ पे हुई थी, तो उस टाइम मैं रैंकिंग में नंबर 9 पे था. तो उसके बाद फिर मैंने काफ़ी मेहनत की. उसके बाद जो मेरी फाइट्स हुए, टाइटल को डिफेंड किया, और मैंने बीट किया फिलिपीनी जो अनडिफीटेड 17 गिमिल में ग्रामो, और उसके बाद मैं नंबर 4 पे. तो जब मैंने पनामा में अपने फाइट्स विन किए तो मैं #1 पे हुआ. तो अभी मैं 1 साल से रैंकिंग में #1 पे हूँ.
आपने कहा था आप चावल नहीं खाते हो, रोटी भी नहीं, अभी भी? Last year you said you don't eat चावल और रोटी. What about now?
Yes, of
अभी
course.
भी स्ट्रिक्ट डाइट है?
ये बिल्कुल इसी तरह डाइट है, क्योंकि काफ़ी ज़्यादा वज़न कम करना होता है मुझे, 10 kgs 11 kilos. तो इवन अभी भी मैंने सुबह से अभी तक तकरीबन कुछ नहीं करा है.
Right, we're going to get back to the CFL. I'll get back to Khokhar Saab. We'll get his thoughts. But right now we have Mr. Ali Mehdi online with us, our football analyst. Ali Mehdi, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Ali.
Ali Mehdi, I'd like to get your thoughts on the CFL, the Pakistan's first franchise-based league. Your thoughts?
I think it's a fabulous event. It's happening for the first time. I mean, I think it's a brilliant venture, and I can only expect it to yield great dividends in the future. I think it's going to be a fabulous event, and a tremendous job done by the management.
What it does do, Ali, and I said this in my introduction, that I mean the kind of talent that we see over here in football is tremendous. So this will give young footballers a chance to shine, because you and I both know, I mean, they're not just very talented footballers in this country. There are many people who follow football very closely.
Yeah, a lot of people follow football very closely over here. You have nowadays youngsters, Ali, after cricket, it's football which is followed very, very closely. We are living in a generation where nowadays there's a lot of emphasis on football. There's a lot of admiration towards footballers. People really look to footballers as their role models. So I just think that an initiative like this to be taken is a very admirable job. And you could say that, it's by such events like these that we could have some very, very, very big players, and we can nurture the talent going into the future. And who knows, these players with the coming into these football leagues will probably do extremely well, and it could be a launching pad for their international career.
We're going to leave it at that. Ali Mehdi, thank you very much for speaking to us. Khokhar Saab, back to you. I was just talking to Mohammad Waseem, of course, and we've mentioned that he's the brand ambassador for the CFL. Tell us, why was Mohammad Waseem chosen?
Yeah, this is very interesting, and wherever we are going, both of us, normally the first question the people ask, that is why Mohammad Waseem? Two reasons. Number one, Waseem has the right that the nation should stand behind him, whether it is football, whether it is cricket. I tell you, boxing is not that kind of sport that you just work hard and win the title. You also have to take injuries. You also, these full contact sports are dangerous as well.
Yes.
This is not just exercise or exertion or diet or workout. So in such sports, if a talented player gets such a wonderful title for Pakistan, whole nation should stand behind him. I'm sorry, Ali, I'm having some.
Don't worry, I'll let you
throat.
gather your thoughts and let you get your voice back. We've been joined by Ms. Hajra Khan, the captain of the women's football team. Hajra, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Ali. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Hajra, what do you make of this new football league, the CFL in Pakistan?
I believe any football activity at the moment would be good for development of football, basically. Any initiative taken by any sort of corporate development sector, or government, or privately by individuals related to football, anything at the moment. We saw Ronald Leader and friends come in, and then we saw the World Cup trophy coming in, and a classic football league is being introduced. So I hope, and I'm pretty sure that इससे काफी ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ेगा for the development, basically.
Hajra, talk to us about the kind of talent that's present in Pakistan, both the girls and the boys, because earlier we were talking to our football analyst Ali Mehdi and of course Shahid Khokhar Saab, who's here with us in the studio. Pakistan isn't really aware of the kind of talent that's here. Would you like to expound on that?
Well, if I generalize, in my 10 years of playing career in football in Pakistan, I believe I have noticed a very, very abundant, you could say, a demand for football. A lot of people are playing, have started playing. A lot of parents have started putting their kids into academies, and we have a lot of leagues going on, privately clubs Abbas mein kar rahe hain. And over the years, I've seen the trust that parents have gained into putting their kids or even individuals into a sport like football, because 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, there was a lot of hockey, there was a lot of cricket. Cricket is number one, but I think there's immense talent, because even like last year, late last year, there were youth teams sent to Norway and China, and these kids are participating in international tournaments. So I think that's a great sign itself. It's very self-explanatory.
We're going to leave it at that. Hajra Khan, thank you very much for speaking to us. I'll get back to Khokhar Saab. Yes, Khokhar Saab, you were explaining to us why you decided to choose Mohammad Waseem as the brand ambassador.
Before that, I would love to thank Ali Mehdi and Hajra. Hajra is our national team, women team captain, and we all of us, we are proud of her. first reason was that the whole nation should stand behind Waseem. And the second reason was that in Liari, which is fortunately the hub of football and is called mini Brazil throughout the world, and it is the hub of boxing as well. So when we announce, when he on our request he comes as ambassador for football promotion, we get a lot of following in Liari and in the boxing fans which he has all over the world and all over Pakistan. So these were the reasons.
Right. And now we've been joined by Ms. Abiha Heather, who is a member of the women's football team. Abiha, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Abiha, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yes, I can hear you clearly now. Abiha, we're talking about the CFL, Pakistan's first ever franchise-based football league. I'd like to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I just heard about it, and I'm really very happy that football is getting promoted in Pakistan, and many people are coming forward with different initiatives upon football. And obviously, this is extremely an amazing for our youth, for our youngsters who would be getting a chance to compete in this league, and through that would be getting a chance to get their skills better, and they could be recognized in countries. So yeah, it's a very good initiative.
Right, Abiha, we've been talking about the kind of talent that we see here in Pakistan, but what young footballers, young boxers, young hockey players have been lacking is a platform, and that's exactly what the CFL plans to give them.
Exactly. Platform and exposure is the main thing which we have been lacking throughout this. I've been telling this, I've been saying this throughout in all of my interviews, being one of the football players from Pakistan women team, being someone who is a sportswoman. All what we need is good exposure. All what we need is, different platforms from where we can, compete around with different people. And through that, we can, build up our skills, and we can get a chance after competing in our own country. We can get a chance to, compete international. So yeah, it all depends upon the exposure which enhances a player, and CFL is giving a perfect opportunity to the youngsters.
One final question, Abiha, tell what sort of advice would you give to the Pakistan Football Federation or even the CFL for that matter? What sort of opinions or suggestions would you give them?
Pakistan is full of talented footballers. I've been very delighted to see, to go to different football tournaments, especially focusing on youth. And, that's very enriching to see that we have so much football talent and so much youngsters who are fond of football. So what I would suggest is definitely that, government and PFF should resolve their issues as soon as possible. Who the footballers like me who are, playing for the Pakistan national football team, we can resume our international career as soon as possible, because believe me, it's not easy sitting in your houses and seeing our fellow neighbors, our fellow South Asian countries competing in the same tournaments which have Pakistan invested in them as well. So, I just hope and pray that get a chance to make a comeback to an international career as soon as possible.
We're going to leave it at that. Abiha Heather, thank you very much for speaking to us. I'm going to get back to Mohammad Waseem. Mohammad Waseem, Khokhar Saab keh raha tha ki he approached you for various reasons. I'm sure you heard that. When you were first approached by the CFL to become the brand ambassador, what were your thoughts? आपका initial thoughts क्या था?
देखिए, मैं ख़ुद स्कूल के टाइम में फ़ुटबॉल खेलता रहा हूँ और मुझे फ़ुटबॉल से भी काफ़ी लगाव है और मैं खेलना चाहता हूँ और मैं खेलता भी हूँ. जब फ्री होते हैं हम बॉक्सिंग ट्रेनिंग से, जब हम साइड पे होते हैं तो कभी हम फ़ुटबॉल में जाते हैं और फ़ुटबॉल खेलते हैं. और जब खोखर साहब ने मुझे अप्रोच किया और उन्होंने मुझे कहा, मैंने कहा ऑफ कोर्स. तो मुझे काफ़ी खुशी हुई कि मैं PSL को सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ और जो ये लीग है ये इंशाल्लाह कामयाब हो और फ़ुटबॉल को काफ़ी सपोर्ट मिलेगा. इससे फ़ुटबॉल आगे आएगी और मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि वर्ल्ड कप में क्वालिफाई करे फ़ुटबॉल और पाकिस्तान भी वर्ल्ड कप में खेले और एक अच्छी बात है फ़ुटबॉल के लिए काफ़ी एक अच्छा काम है जितने भी फ़ुटबॉलर्स हैं उनको अच्छी ट्रेनिंग मिलेगी यहाँ से वो फिट रहेंगे और वो जब जाएंगे इंटरनेशनल कंपटीशन के लिए तो अच्छा परफॉर्म करेंगे
Absolutely. This is a fascinating discussion and we'll talk about lots more after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Tonight we've been talking about the classic football league, Pakistan's first ever franchise-based football league, and we're going to continue to do that with our guests in the studio. I still have Mr. Shahid Khokhar, who's the director of the CFL, and of course Mr. Mohammad Waseem, our world-class boxer, and who is of course the ambassador of the CFL. Khokhar Saab, let's begin with you. I'm just curious to know what's the relationship or the link between the CFL and the Pakistan Premier League?
Yeah, that is very interesting and important question because the Pakistan Premier League is the highest level league in Pakistan, which is officially organized by the Pakistan Football Federation, and of course the most important event in Pakistan. Now there shouldn't be any activity which should ultimately dominate that league because FIFA and AFC support that since a long time, and this is the Premier League of Pakistan. So I tell you the bottom line is that CFL would be a feeder league for the Premier League. We would have the same players which play the Premier League. We have categorized them and we have given them a different kind of tournament for a short period of time in which would be more attractive to bring in the sponsors and the fans as well. And because having the regional approach, they would have the fan following in the regions as well. So it is not anything which is contrary to the Premier League. It will be subordinate league of the official leagues of Pakistan, which are Pakistan Premier League and B Division League as well.
Right. We'll pick up on your thoughts, Khokhar Saab. Right now we've been joined by Mr. Taimur Khan, Area Manager, Leisures League, Islamabad. Taimur, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How's everyone?
Everyone's fine. Thank you very much, Taimur. Taimur, I've been joined by Shahid Khokhar Saab, who's the director of the CFL, and of course the brand ambassador for the CFL, Mohammad Waseem, and they've been talking about how this league is going to begin in August. It's the first of its kind, and it seems as if people are extremely excited about this, especially those who are involved in Pakistani football, and I'm sure your feelings are no different.
Yeah, because it's about time that an initiative like this has kicked off because we all know how badly Pakistani footballers, especially the professional footballers, need to be playing football on a regular basis. So it's a very nice initiative, and I'm really looking forward to them growing into a structure that can actually, further professionalize football in Pakistan and continue the development of talent so that, someday, whenever FIFA's ban is lifted, Pakistan is in a good position to return to the international circuit.
You're absolutely mad about football, and you said you've been waiting for a league like this for quite some time. I'm sure a lot of people have. So what sort of suggestions would you like to give the CFL? Remember, this is the first of its kind. The games will be held in Karachi during the first season. What sort of suggestions do you have for them?
My suggestion would be that, sticking to the basics is the first order of the day. But, focus should be on ensuring the development of younger players who have shown talent and making sure that, when the league ends, you finalize a list of certain young players who that, somewhere down the road in 5 odd years, they would actually give something back to the national team. They need to get all the right sort of exposure. The best teams and players, they need to experience football outside of Pakistan as well, because once they, understand how football is being played in different regions of the world, they would come back to Pakistan. They would be in a very stronger position. So obviously, if the academy players, they are promoted to the senior team, if they continue developing, it bodes well not only for them or for their franchises, it also bodes well for the national team. And, it will eventually create this culture that every football club would, at every level in Pakistan would understand that, yes, our youth is something that we have to focus on. We need to make sure that, the talent that we have at our disposal, after a few years, that talent does not, run away or, quit football, because that is something that I have been seeing for the past 10, 15 years. It's a tragedy because a lot of good players, they were at a certain level, but, they didn't have the right opportunity, so they let go of football. And, that's why, we were never able to produce, the right amount of football players on a regular basis. So I hope Classic Football League works on this thing as well.
We're going to leave it at that. Taimur Khan, thank you very much for speaking to us. Back to Shahid Khokhar Saab, then I'll get to Mohammad Waseem. Khokhar Saab, I'm sure you were listening to what Taimur had to say. And these are good suggestions, because as well, like you, I was talking to you before this, and we're gonna continue to talk about that on air. You've got concrete ideas, you know what needs to be done in the first season, but you always need a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance. Everybody does, and suggestions like this will go a long way.
I thank Mr. Taimur. I think he was focused on the young talent, to bring in the young talent, young raw talent, which is not in the limelight yet. So it is very interesting that how we have categorized the player. We have 3 categories. Category 1 is, we have named it as platinum category, and platinum category is consisted of only those players which have represented Pakistan at international levels. We have already logged in those players.
Right.
Now the category 2 would consist of the player who have played only at national levels inside Pakistan. But the category 3, for that, our selection committee, which comprises of talented, qualified coaches of Pakistan, well-talented, well-qualified coaches of Pakistan, and they have started the process. Instead of holding open camps, selection camps, we are sending our selection committee to different events. Like a few days ago, they went to the Inter-University Championship, and they spotted 10 very talented young players.
Right.
So we are looking forward to implement such strategies throughout the country. We will also go to the hubs of football, and we will also go to the areas where we have never approached before that.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'll get Mohammad Waseem in here. Mohammad Waseem, of course, you're a boxer. We're talking about football, but boxing, even hockey, जो हमारा national sport है, football, squash, badminton, वो ज़्यादा exposure नहीं मिलता है. ये unfortunate चीज़ है. But the media is trying to give these sports as much exposure as possible. So you must be very happy with the fact that people are talking about football. अभी football league आ रहा है. Now you're the world #1 in flyweight. So boxing is getting more attention, more exposure in the media. So you must be very happy about that. कि सिर्फ cricket ही नहीं है. We're talking about other sports as well.
जी बिल्कुल, देखें फ़ुटबॉल एक इंटरनेशनल स्पोर्ट्स है, पूरी दुनिया में खेली जाती है, और मैं काफ़ी खुश हूँ कि ये लीग यहाँ पे शुरू हो रही है. और ये लीग, ये जो क्लासिक फ़ुटबॉल लीग है, आई थिंक ये फ़ुटबॉलरों को बहुत सपोर्ट होगी इससे. और उनकी अच्छी ट्रेनिंग होगी और इंटरनेशनल फ़ुटबॉल में उनकी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस होगी और फाइनेंशियली भी उनको सपोर्ट होगी इससे। तो एक काफ़ी मेरे लिए एक खुशी की बात है कि मैं क्लासिक फ़ुटबॉल लीग का ब्रांड एम्बेसडर हूँ और मैं उनको सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ। और इवन आई थिंक मेरी फ़ाइट है मई में, तो इंशाल्लाह आई होप मैं ये फ़ाइट इंशाल्लाह पाकिस्तान के लिए विन करूँ, फिर उसके बाद मैं क्लासिक फ़ुटबॉल लीग में ख़ुद ही ज्वाइन करूँ और ख़ुद खेलूँ।
अच्छा, ये बताएं, आप फुटबॉल फैन है? डिड यू प्ले फुटबॉल ग्रोइंग अप?
ऑफ कोर्स मैं फ़ुटबॉल को मुझे काफ़ी पसंद है और मैं सारे मैचेस देखता हूँ और मैं रियल मैड्रिड को सपोर्ट करता हूँ। तो
I was just going to ask you your favorite football team or favorite player. Cristiano Ronaldo तो होगा ना?
of course.
Yeah, I thought so. Back to the CFL. Let's talk a little bit about how it's structured. You already talked about the selection process in detail and the categories. So what sort of team format are you following? Is it a little bit like the PSL?
Yeah, it's almost the same. The only thing is I would reiterate that when you are talking about football, you should be more conscious about the developmental side of the thing, because FIFA is very strict about that.
Right.
So you have to follow those parameters. And we would have 5 teams, inshallah, for the season 1, named after prominent cities of from each province.
From each province, yeah.
And we will select the players. The team owners will select the players through players drafting. It would be the same kind of thing as in the things are going in cricket in PSL. But the thing is, for the year 1, we will have a certain price of the category for season 1. For season 2, we will see that what happens. We will openly offer the player, and then it would be a bidding process maybe. But for the season 1, it would not be a bidding process. It would be a price, certain price of that category player.
Right. Okay. So now I understand that all games are being played in Karachi in season 1.
Yeah.
In season going forward, season 2, season 3, do you plan on playing elsewhere?
Absolutely,
all over
absolutely,
Pakistan?
absolutely. We would love to go to Multan. We would love to come to Lahore. We would love to come to Faisalabad, and even beyond that, we want to take football in Gilgit-Baltistan. We have a lot of fans over there. We in Fatah even. It is amazing to see the people how they are interested in Fatah, in Chaman, in these regions where we have never sorted out the things. So we will love to go there. But in fact, you see, when the corporate is attached with the things, you have certain boundaries where you have to take the things on air. There should be certain parameters which you have to fulfill some sort of things for glamour sake, you can say, and to bring shine, which to make it catchy. So sometimes such things make it bring a hurdle for us to take the things into those areas.
How do you plan on marketing this? Because you just mentioned that this is a product that needs a lot of sheen, because some people might be looking at this and thinking, oh, this may not work because it's football, it's not cricket. So you'll have to work extra hard, even when it comes to other sports. When they want to plan something big, some sort of thing, they'll have to work extra hard. How do you plan on doing that?
I would mention the timing of this event. It would be almost 2, 3 or some weeks after the World Cup. It would be after some weeks of the FIFA World Cup Russia. So when the football's hype would be at its peak, we will launch this. Number 1, this would be good for marketing from marketing point of view. Number 2, you will be amazed to know that we have properly announced it since the last week or so, you can say. Before that, we were building it. We were putting in the structures. Although 2 months back, we announced it informally, but we were putting the structures. And for the last 1 week, when we are more open about CFL with Waseem, and we have announced Waseem as ambassador, Alhamdulillah, we have growing interest of the franchise, interested people, interested persons, interested corporate sector who are interested to buy that franchise.
Right. We'll continue talking about the CFL with you, Khokhar Saab. We've been joined now by Mr. Imad Khan, our football analyst. Imad, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Andy. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Imad, your thoughts on the CFL?
For me, Ali, CFL is the biggest platform any player in the Pakistan would ever want, because players like me are just playing the A-League, the National League, and we are not giving any platform to display our performance and to display what we are, what Pakistani football players are up to and what they have in their pocket. And for me, CFL is like having a dream come true in Pakistan.
You're a football enthusiast. You also play a lot of football, and we've been talking about the kind of talent that we see here in Pakistan. Now, of course, this will be a great platform for them to get involved in. Khokhar Saab talked to us about the selection process. So that's all very well. That's the first step, and it's gone well. It's gone smoothly. But this needs to continue. We need to keep working hard, and we need to keep promoting the CFL. We don't want it to lose steam along the way. So what suggestions do you have to continuously keep it going? What suggestions do you have for the CFL to keep rebranding itself the same way the PSL has done?
Yes, exactly, Ali. The CFL needs to sustain throughout the coming years, and for me, from my side, I'll advise that they need to build a body that is sustainable and bring in the experience from outside the country, who know how to sustain league, how to market them, how to get attention from all over the world. And as football is banned from Pakistan by FIFA, we need to get good image of Pakistan football outside the country, so that the international players and international investors invest in Pakistan's football. And I would really appreciate Mr. Khokhar for his endeavor that he is starting off with the CFL this year, and I wish him best of luck for the future.
We're going to leave it at that. Imad Khan, thank you very much for speaking to us. Khokhar Saab, we're about to wrap up, but before I do, I have one very important question, then I'll get your final thought. The regulations, the format that you're using, that's something I think we need to talk about.
Yeah. Nothing else than FIFA match regulations.
Right.
We cannot even think anything else. And one thing which I could not understand what Imad was saying, was he saying that we should bring international players or such kind of thing?
I think I had a little bit of trouble hearing him, but I think eventually, at some point, obviously season 1 and season 2, that's not going to happen. But in order to keep the product going, it wouldn't be a bad idea down the line to ask international players.
I have a different view. I have different experience. I have a different view. We can talk about this particular issue. There should be a certain limit which should not be crossed. Because if you want to highlight your local talent, there should be a limit of the international players. And I will tell you off the record what kind of things happen when you call in 8 international players and 3 or 4 local players. And this is not the right thing to do. There should be a limit, and the players, international players, should be of the same level. They should not be. How can they? You can call someone from A-League or Bundesliga, and you ask him to perform well in our league. This is not realistic. The players should be of the same category, same level, almost the same level. They can be a little better than our players, but of the same level. And such kind of game can benefit our players also.
Absolutely. Well, this was a fascinating conversation. This is a fantastic initiative. Shahid Khokhar Saab, thank you very much for coming on the show, and I wish you all the best. Mohammad Waseem, God bless you, and thank you for being the ambassador.
I also thank Waseem for giving his time for his outgoing support for the CFL.
And good luck with everything, Mohammad Waseem.
Thank
You're
you
the best.
so much.
Thank you very much.
That's all we have time for. Keep watching Sports Extra on PTV World. See you next time. Bye-bye.